Hi guys, welcome back to the Football Nation. Brings you the football news from the last week. So we had some interesting games over the weekend, especially in the Premier League, where it was the Manchester derby, where Man City lost more ground to Arsenal by getting beaten 2-1 off of Manchester United, with a controversial goal, some might say, from Bruno Fernandes. What's happened to Erling Haaland? He's not scored in a couple of weeks. Well, since he came back from the World Cup, or since the World Cup ended, should I say. What has happened to Erling Haaland? Are Man City trying too hard to find the target, big target man, or is he not doing enough for the team? Also, we had Liverpool again dropping more points on the road, getting beat 3-0 off of Brighton, who are flying at the moment under Roberto De Zerbi, and rightly so, is being given all the plaudits for what he is doing down at the Amex. Also, Everton. We recently had the podcast on what is going on with Everton, so please check that out once you've finished watching this. Everton again dropping more points, have been dragged back into the relegation zone. They're now sitting second bottom after Southampton secured a massive win for them, 2-1 away from home, with two great goals by James Ward-Prowse. Does what he normally does. Nottingham Forest continued their good form as well by beating Leicester City 2-0 at the City ground. Again, Nottingham Forest starting to pick up some big results, especially teams around them as well, which could only give their survival hopes a bit of hope. We had a bit of an okay game at Molineux. Wolves winning 1-0 against West Ham United. West Ham, they're struggling for goals. What does David Moyes need to get out of this team to get goals? I mean, he had Scamacca sitting on the bench for majority of the game, never brought him on until the 85th minute or something like that. When you've got a guy who's going to get you goals and you're not playing him, it's going to give you, it spells disaster for a team, especially in West Ham's dire need. Are they concentrating on Europe too much? There's European Conference League. They need to get back to their bread and butter and get back up that table. We had another game of the weekend. Brentford flying high again under Thomas Frank, beating Bournemouth 2-0 at the community stadium, Brentford Community Stadium. Again, two good goals. Penalty from Ivan Toney and Jensen. I think it was Matthias Jensen that scored for Bournemouth. Yeah, Matthias Jensen. Again, not much more you can say regarding Brentford. They're flying high. They've got to play some nice football. Bournemouth, on the other hand, after they've kind of bounced back under Gary O'Neill at first, they've kind of slipped back into that relegation kind of battle at the bottom of the league, at the bottom of the Premier League. And then obviously yesterday we had Chelsea slightly easing the pressure on Graham Potter with a 1-0 victory over Crystal Palace. The main talking point was obviously Chelsea's signing of Mykhailo Mudryk from Shakhtar Donetsk for around £70 million, whereas the young Ukrainian fit in. Is he the player that Chelsea needed to strengthen during this transfer window? Some will say no, some will say he's a good young prospect, but is he the player that Chelsea really need at this moment in time? We had another good game at St James's Park, where Newcastle ran out 1-0 winners over Fulham. Bit of a controversial one. The penalty for Mitrovic penalty for Fulham that Mitrovic missed. Well, he didn't miss, he hit twice off his foot. When they went back into the back of it, obviously it was disallowed. And then Alexander Isak scoring his first goal since coming back from injury, which is going to be a massive boost for his confidence as well. Are Newcastle title contenders? I think so. They're 9 points off the top of the league. They're going to be there and thereabouts, but I think a top four is very much on the cards for Newcastle this year. Eddie Howe's done marvellously well for them this year, which nobody thought they would do in a short space of time. Especially, they've not spent that much money as well. They've kind of went around the business solidly. I mean, like saying of Guimaraes, the resurgence of Miguel Almiron, the way in Joelinton as well, the way they're playing football, they've strengthened the backline with Trippier, Nick Pope, and Sven Botman. They've bought really good players. So who to say that they can't win the league? Just look at Leicester a couple of years ago. They never had multi-million pounds to spend. They bought players that fitted a system, and that's what Eddie Howe has done as well. And you've got to give them major credit for what they've done. And then we had the North London derby, which was showered by some nasty scenes at the end of the game, where a Tottenham Hotspur fan tried to kick out at Aaron Ramsdale, which should not be allowed to happen. Where was the steward, and what were they actually doing to have a fan come that close to kicking out at Aaron Ramsdale? Terrible result again for Spurs. Very good result for Arsenal. Obviously, helped by Hugo Lloris. His constant ability to throw goals into his own net is crazy. Do Spurs think this window? Do you think they should go and get a new goalkeeper? It is going to be hard, but I think Hugo Lloris' time is up at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, because the last couple of weeks he has been very poor. Too many goals have cost him in the league and in Europe as well. And he never had a great World Cup as well. He's very poor. And okay, yeah, he got to the World Cup final, but that was he's not a great goalkeeper in my opinion. For a team like Spurs, they've got Antonio Conte's the Italian mastermind for defence, and they've been unbeaten. Sorry, they've been beaten too easily. They've got a World Cup winner in Christian Romero, who is probably their best defender, playing with Eric Dyer. I mean, that's not what Antonio Conte wants. Is Conte going to be back in January? He's only got, another 15 days to go, just over 2 weeks to go before the January transfer window shuts. Can he get some players in? Is he going to be back in January? I don't think so. And then with the signings, this year with Tottenham, they've not been good enough. I mean, Kulusevski's probably been the best of a bad bunch. Jay Spence not getting a game. Emerson Royale, terrible, not even getting a game. They're back to playing with Matt Doherty, which, I mean, Doherty's a good player, but is he Spurs quality? Again, I don't think so. Then you look at Arsenal flying high, 8 points clear after the result after the result of the weekend for Manchester City. Are Arsenal going to win the league this year after so many years of not of being playing second fiddle to a lot of the other London clubs and like Liverpool, Manchester City? You've got to give credit to Arteta, the way they've went about their business slowly but surely. Yes, they've not got a lot of strength and depth, but they do. They've got the mental toughness, should I say, to last the full duration. We can only find out. But if Odegaard or Saliba gets injured or Ramsdale gets injured, then they could be on a bit of a sticky wicket. At the end of the day, they've still got good players to come in, but not these kind of world class. Not the world class spine that they've got now. Like, obviously, Ramsdale's been brilliant. Saliba and Gabriel's been brilliant at the back line. I would say the players that they brought in, like kind of winners, like Zinchenko, Jesus, Odegaard. He's the new captain. You're starting to see the way Arteta wants the club to play that kind of nice brand of pressing football. It's taken a long time for Arteta to win these fans over, because this time last year they were asking for Arteta out, and now look at them, they're sitting a bit of humble pie, in my opinion, with the way that Arsenal are playing. But if you've got any if any questions regarding about Arsenal, they've answered them. But they've got big games coming up against Manchester City in the FA Cup, and I think they're playing 2 back-to-back very, very soon in the FA Cup and in the league as well. So that is it for the news this week in the Premier League. We had 2 games in Scotland, 2 Scottish League Cup semi-finals where we had Celtic versus Kilmarnock. Celtic going out 2-0 winners over the Ayrshire side, with goals from Maeda and Giorgio Giacomakis at Hampden Park. And then yesterday we had Rangers 2-1 against Aberdeen, where VAR was a highlight again, or should I say wasn't a highlight because it failed in the the first half of extra time at Hampden Park yesterday. It's a bit of an embarrassment for Scottish football, and the state of the Hampden pitch as well was a bit of an embarrassment. Nobody plays at the National Stadium anymore, as Queen's Park have left there, and they've now moved to Lesser Hampden. Well, being built on Lesser Hampden just now. So what is going on with the National Stadium's park? Why is it not been upkept? Why is the upkeep been on it not been made to last after two games? Okay, there was some heavy rain in Glasgow over the weekend, but still, you look at some of these pitches in England, the pitches are like bowling greens, and they can handle a lot of rain. Why is the National Stadium Scotland like a bog basically? And then a couple of weeks you've got the final with Celtic and Rangers. Hopefully they can get it sorted by the for the final, but I don't see why. I don't see how they can fix that in such a small space of time, especially with the cold winters in Scotland and the amount of rain we do get in Scotland, which it's not great. It's not great at all. But that is me for today. My name's Chris Watt. I am the co-host on the Football Nation podcast. You can find us on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook Live, Twitter, and coming soon, if you keep an eye on our socials, they've got some big news coming out, and we've also got new hosts on the show with Jade, Kai, and Paul, which we'll be seeing more of them in the next couple of weeks, and soon to be with their own content coming out as well. But please give us a like, give us a follow, hit that notification bell for us when we go live, especially on Thursdays at 8 PM, where we are live on YouTube and on Twitch and on Facebook Live. We can ask us any questions. This week we are going to be discussing Chelsea Football Club and what has gone on this season, with the new takeover, with Graham Potter, their transfer, the transfer merry-go-round that is at Stamford Bridge, and much, much more. So please join us at 8 o'clock on Thursday for that. And if you've got any questions, please hit up our socials, Football Nation Podcast on Twitter, so FN Pod on Twitter. Also join our Discord as well. But please like and subscribe. Helps us out a great bunch. And see you next time.